Well, friends, I welcome you again to today's discussion. In our earlier classes, as you know, we have already learned what is international trade and what is international business, and some of the let us say basic concepts like what are the kind of risk we expect, or what are the kind of risks that are associated with international business. That also we had discussed. Today's our plan is to learn more or less the features of international business. We'll try to also understand what is the uniqueness of international business. So those we have a plan to discuss all these things today. So let me share the screen with you right now. Trust screen is visible, and plan is to cover these three elements. One is what are the features, what are the importance, and what are the benefits of international trade and international business. Okay. Now let me take you to the appropriate slide. Just give me a moment for that. The risks we have already covered. Now we come here. Yeah, we'll start from here. What are the features of international business? Okay, now you see there is a list of features which are noted here. These are only illustrative only. That means the features of international business includes all these things. There might be any other point beyond this which are noted here. So let us discuss one by one. Can you read what is the first point? First feature of international trade and business. Can you read it out?
Cross-country operations.
Yeah, first feature is cross-country operation. That means more than one country is involved in international business. Okay, you know, for you talk about international business, earlier also we had seen this means business beyond the geographical boundary of a country. So cross-country operations are definitely there. There might be import, there might be export, there might be branches which are located outside the country also. There might be a substantial element of foreign operations. So international business or international trade means cross-country operations are there. Okay. Now who can read the second point?
More return.
Yeah. In case of international business, people expect more return. Perhaps that is the thing, that is the attraction of international business. That is why people venture into international business, because expectations are more. Can you tell me the third feature?
More risk.
Yeah, more risk. Earlier we had discussed these points that international business, international trade definitely involves more risk. Can you identify some of the risks? Can you tell me any one or two risks? Feel these are the risks associated with international business. Can you tell me some risks?
The currency rate fluctuations.
Currency rate fluctuation. Okay, this is one kind of risk we have already identified. That if you are doing domestic business, you do not face this risk. But in case international business, you face this additional risk. Any one more risk, if someone else can identify risks of international business? Who can
Sir,
tell me?
relation of our country with the foreign country in which we are going
Okay,
to.
so you are talking about foreign relationship, right? So foreign relationships also affect the return of the business. So that is again, you can say one more feature. Okay, more return, more risk, and cross-country operations are there in case of international trade and business. Now, fourth feature, can you read it?
Large scale operation.
Large scale operation. Normally, what happens when a business house or when an entity goes for international business? He enters into as an expansion activity. That means activities are increased to enhance the sale or to enhance the operations. They venture into international business. Okay, operation size is more in the entire international business. People operate in large scale. Let us come to the fifth feature. Please read it out.
Integration of economics of many countries.
Okay, what happens because of international business? Economies of various countries gets integrated. That means they become connected. Okay, so that means no country is protected from other country. Let us say something is happening Japanese stock exchange, that may have some effect on Indian stock exchange. There may not be any one-to-one relation, but some correlations can be there. So why it is happening? Because the markets are getting integrated and economies of countries are also getting integrated, right? If one country's economic situation is adversely affected, it will be having some impact on the economies of our country also, or for that matter, any other country also. Because countries trade with each other and this affects the trading. Okay, so market getting integrated, economy is getting integrated. So that is again one of the feature of international business. Through international business, economies or markets gets integrated. Okay, so let us come to the sixth feature. Please read it. Multiple currency. All of you will agree that the moment we decide that we have to enter into international business, that meaning we have to deal with multiple currencies. Here you cannot say, no, I will be receiving money only in Indian rupees, or I'll be paying my liability or settling my liability only in Indian rupees. Okay, it may not happen. You have to deal with multiple currencies. Okay, it depends upon the other party. He may want your Indian rupee, he may not want an Indian rupee. In that situation, you have to satisfy him either by paying dollar or by paying euro or by paying yen, anything. Okay, so you have to satisfy him. So multiple currencies are involved. Now, seventh point.
Dominated by developed countries, MNCs.
Yeah. So if you look at the international business operation, you can say most larger part of this international business is dominated by multinational corporations. They do more international business. Okay, they export, they import, they have they have establishment in many foreign countries, right? And most of these MNCs are located in developed nations. So largely you can say international business is dominated by developed countries and by multinational corporations. Point number 8.
Benefits to participating countries.
Yeah, so this is again one more feature you can say. The participating country gets benefit. That's why they participate. Benefit in what sense? Maybe they get capital to start a new business. Maybe they get some product which may not be otherwise available because they're involved in the international business. They get those products, they get those services. Okay, sometimes this international business also offers good amount of employment. So these are some key benefits. Other benefits also will be learning, but participating countries definitely get benefit. That's why always many countries you can find they attract foreign investment. They want foreign companies or multinational corporations to come to the country and do the business here, because the countries can visualize it may bring some kind of benefit to them. Right? Point number 8 you have understood. Now come to point number 9. Please read it.
Clean competition.
Okay, international business is an open market. Right? There is a very key. There is a lot of competition in the market. You can say. So if the person is fit to the market, then only he can survive. Because market is open. Anybody can produce anything. That means he has to produce something, produce the best product at the least cost. Then only one can survive. So there is keen competition in the market. Let us say someone from some other country is coming up with a better country, then definitely people will demand their product, not your product. Is it not? Or someone is able to produce a similar product at a less cost, then he will survive because he can go for price reduction. He can reduce because of lower cost. Okay, so these are this is again. So therefore, you can say there is a very severe competition in international business. Point number 10. 10th point.
Special role of science and technology.
Okay, science and technology plays a very important role. Okay, because it helps in data communication, It helps in getting information. You can get market information through, let us say, information system technology. Okay, you can also, let us say, give your quotation, give your bid by using by using information technology. So this role of science and technology is important. And let us say you are dealing with foreign currency, that also you have to buy foreign currencies, you have to sell foreign currencies, and these prices of these currencies are different in different markets. So one need to have information that where products are cheaper, where let us say these currencies are cheaper. Therefore, one has to largely depend upon the technology to find out the suitable market, and to reduce cost also. Technology plays an important role. Point number 11.
International restriction.
There are international restrictions also. Okay, international business is good, but many countries try to prohibit certain kind of activities. So one have to keep that thing in mind before venturing into international business. Let us say one country prohibits exports of something or prohibits import of something. So there are some countries which prohibit child labor, uh, or let us say anything which is produced by using child labor is prohibited. So like this, so different countries puts different kind of restrictions. So when you are doing international business, you have to keep in mind what are the restrictions. Point 12.
Sensitive in nature.
This business is quite sensitive in nature. Shraddha, please do not use any annotation. Okay, please erase it. Yeah, so next point is that sensitive in nature. Sensitive in the nature means if slightly some changes happen, it will have some impact on the profitability. Let us say foreign currency rates are changed, dollar price changed, it will have severe impact on the profitability. Is it not? Quite sensitive. Maybe in a particular situation we are making good profit. Slight change in the situation, very minor change in the situation may convert the profit into loss. That possibilities are also there. Okay, did you understand? Did you understand? Now come to point number
Yes.
13.
Impacts forex reserve.
It impacts forex reserve. So you must be knowing that different countries maintain a forex reserve, and their international trade largely depends upon the forex reserve. How it depends upon that? Let us say they want to import something, they have to pay in foreign currency. So forex reserve should allow that thing. Countries' forex reserve balance should allow to pay money. Is it not? Pay money in foreign exchange. So if forex reserve is not there, then one may not be able to import. And if you import more, then what will happen? Our forex reserve balance will go up or come down if you import more.
So come down.
It will come down, right? And if you export more, what will happen?
So it will go up.
It will go up. So now you have understood that international business affects directly. You can say it is a kind of direct effect on the country's forex reserve. Everybody wants to keep more reserve, more forex reserve. Every nation wants that forex reserve should go up. It is possible only through international business. Okay, if you export, then naturally forex reserve will go up. If you import, it will go down. Right? So these are some of the primary features of international business. Let me repeat it once again. It has cross-country operation is one feature. It offers more return. It exposes you to more risk. International business involves large-scale operation. It integrates economies of many countries. It involves multiple currencies. This market is dominated by developed nations and multinational corporations. It offers a lot of benefit to the participating countries. There is a keen competition in the international business market. Special role of science and technology is also there. With the help of science and technology, one can do better international business. There are international restrictions also. One needs to keep that thing in mind. Business is not that simple. Restrictions has to be kept in mind. This business is quite sensitive in nature and it impacts countries' forex region. Did you understand all these features?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If it is clear to you,
Yes,
we can move to the
sir.
next point. I think you'll be able to write something, at least one sentence against each of these features. Okay, so you need to explain. If similar question is asked, you need to explain at least in one line what is the meaning of these features. Okay, now friends, let us quickly see some more features you can say. Little more features you have to understand. That means first concept we are going to learn that international business may happen in various modes. Very simple mode is that by exporting and importing also one can enter into industrial business. So importing and exporting is one of the mode. Okay, through tourism and transportation also industrial business is possible. Foreign tourists when they're coming or here people are going to a foreign country. So that also promotes international business, right? Licensing and franchising are another mode. Let's say one business is there in Singapore, you can obtain a franchise, obtain a license of that business and start your operation. That is also one mode of doing international business. Turnkey operations. Some projects can be taken up on a turnkey basis. Management contract like consultancy, etc. Consultancy contract. They also contribute to the industrial business. Direct investment. Direct foreign direct investment. That means some investor is coming to, let us say, acquire or to buy a substantial portion of shares in an Indian company. That is a foreign direct investment or portfolio investment. Portfolio investment means his intention is to invest in the company, but not interested to control that company. That is called as portfolio investment. He's coming just as an investor. So these are various modes of industrial business. So we'll be learning that thing in detail. And there are various functions also in every industrial business. Let us say marketing functions are there that can be internationalized. You have to deal with multiple markets. Manufacturing activities also can be globalized. It's not necessary. It's not necessary that manufacturing has to happen in one country. It can happen any part of the globe. Supply chains management activity, accounting activities, financing activities, this HR related activities, all these things can be globalized. That means when we're talking about international business, various functions of the business can be globalized. Okay, and you got a choice of countries. You got a choice of what kind of organization you want to form. Right, so that will any query you have? Okay, please, friends, those who are not participating in the discussion, please mute yourself. Okay, now, so these are some additional features just now we discussed. Now from here, we'll move to the next concept. We'll try to learn three things again: importance, uniqueness, and benefits of international business or international trade. First, we need to learn why international business is there, or what is the importance of international business, or you can say why you are learning this subject of international business. First of all, nowadays most of the business you see are exporting something or importing something. Foreign operations are there, and it is very difficult to avoid foreign operations. Right, business has become such that you need to import something and you need to export something. Since export and imports are inevitable, that's a part of normal business, and money has to be received in foreign exchange. So there is a need to understand international business. There is a need to let us say venture into international business, because you need to export, you need to import. Okay, sometimes you may need funds, you may collect it from foreign countries also. So these are the prime reasons why international business is important, and why knowledge of this subject, and why it is necessary to study this subject. That also, these are also, you can say, these are the reasons for that. Money is export is inevitable. Money has to be received in forex. So international business, or the knowledge of international business, is important. Payment has to be made the moment you are importing, right? And money is required to be paid in foreign exchange. Therefore, one need to understand international business concept. Money can be raised in global market. So earlier we have understood that that is one of the responsibility of the business entity to manage its capital, to raise money. The advantages of international market is that money is available or capital is available at a less cost. That means cost of capital will be less. So at the low interest rate, at low cost of equity, one can get capital. And that's the advantage. But when that is the advantage, the risk is that if you collect money from the international market, it is subject to currency fluctuations. Let's say you have taken $1 lakh, you have to pay $1 lakh, but when you're paying back $1 lakh, the value of dollar might have gone up. So even if rate of interest is less, currency fluctuations may happen. Is it not? So therefore, advantages are there, risks are also there. Did you understand this concept, these three concepts?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, why raising money in global market has low interest rate? Sir, is it due to competition?
Why your question is why rate of interest is low in global market? Yes, if friends see, if you classify the countries, you can you see if something is abundantly available at a particular place, then naturally the product that particular thing will be cheaper. Is it not? Let us say in a particular place more potato is available. If you go to that place, you can find potato at a very cheap price. Is it not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So similarly, if you divide the countries, there are some countries which are capital rich countries. At some countries, there are capital poor countries. When you talk about the capital countries, capital rich country, that means what? Capital or money is available. If you go to that country, money is available. No one is interested to borrow money because everybody is having money. They want to invest money. Okay. When everybody want to invest, but no one want to borrow, what will happen? When they make investment, they get less return. Okay, they get less return because investment opportunities are less. Okay, so if you borrow from that country, the people of that country expects less.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I got it.
Did you? Are you getting it?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let us say, if you talk about some country like Switzerland, etc., 2% is the normal rate of return. If you go for a bank loan, you can get a bank loan at 2% or 2.5%. Can you believe it? Why it is so? Because no one is interested to borrow. Everybody want to park their money in the bank.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I got
Right.
it. Now
So
I got it.
if those people will be interested, or their expectation is less. So if you give them 3%, they'll be very happy.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? So,
Yes, yes.
so that is the reason where if the country is a capital rich country, then cost of capital is less.
Yes, yes.
If we are a capital poor country, then cost of capital will be more. Now you can decide, I will take money from, let us say, Switzerland. That's no issue. But it depends upon the fluctuation of Swiss franc also. Okay, if Switzerland currency fluctuates, then it will affect your return. Your cost gets affected. So that aspect needs to be taken care of. Then one more reason why this international business is important is that because of competition also one may go venture into international business. Let us say you don't want to go do international business. You are very much happy with domestic business. But problem here is that your competitor have already started international business. That means competitor has started exporting or started importing some raw material, or he has collected capital from foreign country. Because your competitor is moving to the international market, you have to now move to the international market. Otherwise, what will happen? Your competitor's cost of production will be less. He is getting cheaper products. Okay, then he may be able to survive and you may not be able to do that. He may reduce the price. So because of competition also, people venture into international business. This is again one more reason why international business is necessary or why it is important. Okay, so these are the prime concerns, the prime reason why we are going for international business. Okay, then few more points are also there. you'll understand that why companies engage in international business. The point number 5, if you talk about, it may be to expand sales. Let us say they have already attained saturation in a country. They want to expand their sales volume. Okay, so what they can do, if they go to a different market, which may be an international market, then sales volume will be automatically expanded. Okay, or maybe they identify a market in a different country where customers' ability to buy and customers' willingness to buy is more. So you can say that's a better market. If there's a better market and this company wants to expand its sales, then it is always advisable to go to that market. One more reason for a company to be engaged in international business is to acquire resources. Let us say some companies want to acquire products, acquire services, technology, information, and even human resources. For the purpose of acquisition of this thing, they may venture into international business. Okay. Diversification is also one more reason. So as a diversification strategy, many companies venture into international business. They want to diversify their investment. They want to diversify their resources so that risk can be minimized. Right? Risk can be minimized in the sense, if in case, let us say, something wrong happens to the business of one country, then businesses which are there in other countries can help them to balance it out. So as a diversification strategy, also people enter into international business. And international business also minimizes competitive risk. Okay, companies move internationally for defensive reasons. If they find severe competition in one place, they may move to a different country, to a different market. Right. So these are some of the reasons that why companies are engaging themselves in international business. So broadly, some idea we have got. Few more points are also there, and all these points, as I told you, they're inclusive points. You may think beyond that. Okay, we have already tried to list out some of the points. You may think beyond that and add few more points also. And as you know, day by day, the number of multinational corporations are growing. They're also doing business. The growth of business also makes it necessary. Growth of this multinational corporations also makes us necessary to understand the subject international business. Okay, volatility of the exchange rate. Day by day, exchange rates are becoming more and more volatile. Fluctuation is more. Is it not? And this currency fluctuation is, you can say, one of the unavoidable element in any international business. So we need to understand that. Right? It directly hits the profit, loss, sales. So one need to understand the impact of foreign fluctuation. So to do all these things, one need to face, you can say, face the consequences of international competition, face the consequences of international business, and need to understand the subject international business, need to study this subject. These are the reasons, you can say, for which you can say the subject is important, or the business itself, international business, is important. Is it clear up to this?
Yes, sir.
Regarding
Yes, sir.
just now,
Yes.
we are learning about the importance of international business. Okay, and if you let us say extend this discussion further, as you have observed, many firms in India are raising finance from foreign markets. There are many firms. In appropriate time, maybe in the last module when we were talking about the forex market, at that time I will explain to you. There are many firms, many Indian companies have already started collecting capital from foreign market. They export goods, they import goods, they invest, they make investment in abroad. Right. So to do all these things, knowledge of international business is necessary. Business, as such, business is a complex process, and because of globalization, it is becoming more and more complex. Business is getting linked with various other businesses and various markets which are located outside the country. Right. So in this globally competitive business environment, if one needs to survive, then he needs to understand the concepts of international business and he has to face the impact of international business. It's very difficult to avoid it. Right? Okay. Is it okay up to this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, quickly, we'll try to understand about the uniqueness of international business. Coming to uniqueness, Mark, if you see this topic is unique, and the international business subject is unique, or business itself is unique because this is a kind of business where you have to deal with multiple currencies, right? And this multiple currencies, when you're talking about the multiple currencies, one more concept we have to keep in the mind, that there are different exchange rate regimes. Exchange rate regimes means exchange rate mechanism through which a country controls its currency price. So we need to understand. In future we'll be learning that thing also. That's a concept of fixed exchange rate regime and variable exchange rate regime. Fixed exchange rate regime means exchange rate doesn't fluctuate much. The central bank of that country controls. So exchange rate remains fixed. Fluctuating exchange rate regime means it fluctuates as per the demand and supply situation. Okay, so some countries follow purely fixed rate exchange rate regime. Some countries follow variable exchange rate regime. Now almost all the countries except one country follows the variable exchange rate regime. So accordingly, currency rate will fluctuate differently. Somewhere it is 100% variable, some countries not 100% variable. It is variable but to a limited extent. So one need to understand those exchange rate regimes. Then only one can decide its impact on the international business. Change in exchange rate has got profound effects. It affects the business directly. And there is incremental risk, and you have to do the business in a diversified culture. Culture is also different. Okay, culture plays a very important role. The kind of advertisement you are doing in India, same advertisement may not be appropriate in a Middle East country. Okay, so you are doing business in a diversified culture. Okay, let us say in some countries also paying interest is not acceptable. So like this, so you have to work in diversified culture if you are venturing into international business, and you have to work in incremental risk. Okay, so friends, these are the few concepts we have discussed. Next class will continue from this point about the uniqueness of international business. I think up to this, is
Sir.
it clear to you? Up to this, is it
Sir.
clear to you? Yeah, I'm addressing your question. Is it clear to you up to this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.